Well, if it isn't the Dragon Warrior, Aki VGC. I've been searching all over for you, buddy. For I am the Demon Dragon, Prince of Dragonia. And I have been searching far and wide to be here today because I hear that you activate full dragon mode on Frito for Wii U. You wind-blasting machine. I call upon you to join me. Join me and together we will summon Latios like it's your season finale and destroy your enemies. Go full dragon with me. Ride your dragon squad to Australia to give Wifey a dramatic PowerPoint on time zones mid-battle. Only you are capable of doing this now. So get out there and show them all what you're truly able to do, Alpha. Or else.
And now we've got our Week 5 Resurgence Team Tour Power Rankings coming out to you. At number 1, we've got the Shuppet Detectives. The unblemished record falls to a tie. God damn you boys win a fucking game. At number 2, Cooking with the Boys, led by the Psy Guy from a budget inn somewhere in the southeastern United States. At number 3, we've got the Flutter Main Pirates. At number 4 and 5, we've got the Very Loud Boomers and the Retirement Home. And I really think the Boomers are edging them out just because they're not quite retirement age. They're still getting ready to sell their family farm as existed for generations to move to a condo in Florida or whatever. The retirement home's already there. At number 6, we have Pokemon of the Elite, who I'm sure Lou has already shouted out. One of their captains has won a game. Can you believe it? And at number 7, we've got Roblox War episode. I don't remember. Come on. If you're behind us in the standings, who even cares?
All right, take 2, Week 5 Super Show. With that said, take 2, we've got 2 epic guests this week. We've got Anthony Zazzo.
Hey, what's happening? What's popping, everybody?
Mentor to many. Some would say on the Mount Rushmore of Draft League players. He's definitely on mine. Following him up, gaming 1, 2, 3. What are you going by these days?
2, I guess, is the number. I don't know. I lost count already.
He is the one and only, nonetheless.
There we go. One of the best Last Gen players
true.
in the community. I've seen you on the sticks Gen 3, 4, 7. I think you could kind of play almost anything in this format.
Yeah, Mons is Mons. I can probably do anything.
With that said, gentlemen, this is a special occasion. I think I want to do a shot to open it off. But then later in the show, we're not going to do any large mongoose twisted teas. I just want to drink straight scotch the rest of the video. Yeah, but with that said, we're going to... And more than just guests on the show, we've got plenty of things to toast to. So, a lot of things happened last week. One thing... One thing I'm going to say salute to, Pokemon of the Elite. Holy shit. Emperori
Yeah,
coming off the bench. Win. Brett. Win. That's like the stars aligning. Both captains.
dude, he saw last week's episode. They decided to lock in.
Yeah, so you love to see that. Yeah, so do Pokemon of the Elite. Both captains getting a win. To Anthony Zazzo, gaming too. I also want to say I seen some talk about my country earlier in the day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I came straight from a military base, took my shower, I got into my Team USA attire.
Let's go.
I just want to say God bless America. And with that said, salute, gentlemen, and Anthony Zazzo, let me get your picks. Or your power rankings.
Okay. Power ranking. Get it. So, right out of the gates, Shuppets. A lot of dominant players right now. We got Zibstrika. He joined my team on another team tour. So this is one of my first times interacting with the guy. Actually, trash talked him earlier today, but that's okay. Maybe he'll face me in later weeks. You also have the captain of my other team, Rage and Garf. So a lot of cool players on here. Not really shocked. Necrowolves. Haven't really seen too much of that guy, so I got to check out his replays. But and then goalie 4-0 or Goyle.
From Brazil.
So just looking at a lot of their drafts too. I think all of them are pretty dynamic. So I'm looking at their like Oros 2. Really like that team. And just in general, even their ADV2, I've seen. I think I've seen a replay of them farming with Blissey Scarm. So lots of rambling on this team. And next, I got the cooking. So am I just breaking out every single one of these teams, or?
Yeah, I mean, you could do it quick. You can do it fast.
Okay, I'm gonna say my rankings real quick. We got Shuppets, Cooking, Flutter, Boomer, Retirement Home, and the most important, hold on, I don't got Roblox at number 8. And Stand and Bang. You ain't no Roblox. I think that, traditionally when you do power rankings, you look at, okay, who's got the best records and stuff like that. But I always like to go to one, who are the most like balanced teams across the gens? Who's going to be like the strongest teams going to playoffs? I value that a lot. So the Boomers, think that, naturally they're kind of middle of the pack, but I think that they can kind of bounce back. One guy that I like on the very loud Boomers is that Ozzy guy. I don't really interact with the guy, but like watching his replays. So, and then there's this guy in Stand and Bang. If he wants to catch me in Oros in a money match, let me know. That's my breakdown.
Salud, we can definitely. I think we're already in talks to make that happen. Think of the $50 variety. Definitely can make that happen. All right. With that said, Gaiman, it is your turn for your power rankings.
All right. So at the top, I do have Shuppet Detectives and Fluttermane Pirates. These are the only two teams that haven't lost a series yet in the season. So it just seems pretty clear that they're the two big front runners here. Shepherd's Detectives, as far as I've heard, they won last year, and it seems like they're doing all the right stuff again. They've got a pretty cohesive team. They got an undefeated player right now in Gil, and then they got some really good players like Rage and Garth on their teams. Their captains are even performing well. As far as Flutter Main Pirates go, they also have a 4-0 player. They also have some pretty solid players like Vaz on there, and their captains are also kind of dominating too. They're both 3-1 in there. As you see, I don't have anything in A because I think B is just like a big playoff race, and I think that any of these teams, including Pokemon of the Elite, which I don't have ranked here, are all kind of in the running to potentially make playoffs or just miss them entirely.
Zazo missed them on his board.
Yeah, he forgot about us. So Boomers, I think they played against Cooking with the Boys last year and came out with the W, which is why I'm giving them the slight edge in this week. They've got some pretty good players in there like Frida and Friedel. And then they got some decent performers. This Nashoba guy's 3-1. I don't know how good he is, but he's performing. So there is that. Cooking with the Boys looks like it has a pretty decent roster. I'd say it's slightly weaker though, for the most part. Like I think Max's record, or who I guess you call him, but yeah, he does really well. He's probably one of the best players in there. But for the most part, other than him, no one's really dominating in there. So I'm gonna have to give the edge to the Boomers in there. Retirement home. Um, Honestly, I was thinking they were gonna do pretty poorly after their first series with us, but apparently they're bouncing back pretty well. Geo is also a 4-0 player, which is really nice to see. Again, there isn't really anyone going as insane with their record. Like Aki is 2-1, which is good. There is some potential for them to surpass one of the teams as well, which is why they're up here and above the D tiers. Stand and Bang, I'm pretty sure it's theoretically possible for them to do it, but it's going to be an insane climb. Like they have some players who are actually like performing really well. The captains are doing well. Bait is 3-1. Wonder who we lost to, by the way. And other than that, we got a bunch of people who are winless though. Like you spent 28K on someone who's not winning their games, which is kind of rough, but it happens, I guess. And then Roblox, they have lost all 4 of their series and they're playing against us, so they're going to lose another one. But anyway, that's my rankings pretty much.
Free day.
All right, I'll take it from here. But guys, I'm not going to sound like a broken record with these. It's pretty much the same exact positions as last week, with the exception of a new tier at the bottom, the poop crap tier, which Roblox has rightfully earned for not just getting 0 wins, but 0 points total. 4 losses, they couldn't even get a single tie, no points on the board. What can I say other than poop crap? But they can try and fight for the 7th spot with some of these teams in the D tier, at least. Stand and Bang and what is widely referred to as Pokemon of the Mediocre now, which, as we have mentioned, their captains have put some wins on the table now, so maybe this is a second win in the makings for Pokemon of the Mediocre, but as it stands right now, definitely not looking like they are worthy of even the C tier, which Retirement Home, now they got 2 wins on the board. Hey, not bad. 4 points. I think they're showing to be I don't want to say playoff contenders, but maybe we'll see. We'll see if they can show up this week against us. But in the B tier, we've got Cooking with the Boys, and I'm tired of not including my own team on the records, guys. It's clear at this point. I'm putting myself in the B tier. And last week, despite myself taking the loss, my team was still able to win all their games. So that put me, I got a lot of confidence in my players just because of that. I think if I can afford to lose and the rest of my team is still able to win us the week, I think I got to feel pretty good about that. And that was against Cooking with the Boys, the other team in the B tier. So, like, it's not John Friday and the 12 Plumbers anymore. I gotta pass the torch on to Friedel now, 4-0. Luckily, he's not here to ridicule me right now, going 2-2. But still, I got confidence in my fellas. But despite that, I still do have to place Florida Main Pirates ahead of ourselves. Again, not a team that has taken a loss so far. So pretty much up there with Shelby Detectives, but they do, of course, have the 1 point lead over them. So they're up in the S tier. They've earned it. Clearly, a lot of good players on that team. Like, what can I say? So, Lou, what you got for yours?
All right. So, I still, unfortunately, have Shuppet Detectives in the first spot. We had them on the ropes. We were up 4-3 last week. Some shenanigans happened. Dak had some kind of family fun adventure, had a sub out. The replacement kind of laid an egg. Overall, though, 3 wins and 1 tie. That didn't happen until the 4th week. Like, statistically, you can't rule against them in the top spot. And likewise, I don't have an angle to remove them from the top spot. Second place, though, the Flutter Main Pirates are still sailing the high seas. So started off with 2 ties and then had 2 definitive wins. Like, they are laying belt to ass the last 2 weeks. If anybody's going to overtake the Shuppet Detectives, I think it's King Rock and the fellas. In the 3 spot, I've got the Very Loud Boomers. The reason for it, Kicking with the Boys might be a little bit higher than them in the standings, but they went ahead and we saw a pretty definitive Boomers or Friedel and the Plumbers victory. So I've got them in my 3 spot. And then likewise, I've got the other team, Cooking with the Boys, in the 4 hole. Now it starts to get interesting because the retirement home, nothing flashy on paper, but they've steadied the ship. Now, they have 2 wins. One of those wins is against Stand and Bang. A little short-handed. Maybe they all played their games in Ireland that week. I don't know. But then they played Roblox last week and belt to ass there. So who knows? Is Roblox just really, really terrible? And the retirement home played them at a fortuitous time for this video? I don't know. In the 6 hole, Pokemon of the Elite. They're playing Mario Kart. And that, like, great value Koopa looking thing has the sign up that shows they're going the wrong way. I don't know where they're going, but it's not to the playoffs, folks. Then I've got a steaming pile of shit. Stand and Bang is somewhere in there. The 5 Spartans, whatever you want to call my players that can get in the win column, of which not all of us can even slot every week anymore. So I don't know how I can get to 5 wins if my 5 Spartans can't even slot every week. So we're getting to ties the last 2 weeks. At least that's better than losses. And then after that pile of crap, I've got Roblox Wars with 2 viable players. One of them is here with us, Anthony Zazo. And then the other is one of the little cheeses of the draft community, my friend Iceman Braun, Florida man down in Alabama. So I got 2 players. I don't know what the other 6 are doing every week, but they're kind of mailing it in. With that said, we're going to go ahead and get into the matchups.
Okay, so you want my predictions for these battles. Let's get it. Sorimi against Butterchoke. I'm going to give it to Sorimi. Way more discipline, wins this one. Let's see. Gil and who? Let me give it to Gil. He's going to set the pace on that one. Necro versus Caps Lock. Let's give it to Necro. He likes to play calculated. Raji versus Grim. Grim's going to keep it controlled, so let's give it Grim. Palm Tree versus Bastion. I think Bastion's going to adjust faster and going to take the win for that one. Let's move on to the next one. Zeb versus Meister. Oof. Meister's controlled under pressure. Meister's not going to fold. I give it to Meister. Let's see. Nightmare versus Cavern. Let's go Nightmare. Not only does it have a badass name, but Nightmare wins. A strong win, too. And then let's go last one. Is this the main event? I don't know. But let's see. Last one. Essie versus Lisa. It's going to be a close game, but I think Lisa's going to convert on this one and get the win. All right, there you go. Those are my predictions for that. Have fun.
All right, people. First series, Shupa Detectives, cooking with the boys, to the number 1 team and another highly rated team. So 2 playoff contenders. Let's see what this looks like. So ADV1, we got Surimi and Butterchoke. Now, this is not looking like Butterchoke's tournament, guys. I'd hope to be proven wrong on that in this matchup, but I'm going to call it for Surimi, who is doing better. Simple as that. Now, DPP, we got 2 4-0 players. Oh my god. I think, though, I got to give it to Max because he beat me, and therefore he can beat anybody. But Gil, don't get me wrong, I like the guy. Had him on as the guest last week. He had a lot of intelligent things to say, so I respect that. But again, gotta go with the guy that beat me. So 1-1. Now, black and white one. Necrowolf's the captain up against Caps Lock. I don't think Caps Lock has lost a game, but Necrowolves hasn't been doing too bad for himself either. I'm going to give it to Shupa Detectives just because I think they are the better team. Didn't see anything that stands out too much in the matchup, but Broken Terrakion against Broken Garchomp, anything can happen. Now, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Got the Rage up against Gym Leader Grimetz. Now, guys, Grimetz, he's a gym leader, and the Rage is at least like Elite Four champion, like collected all 16 badges. Like, this isn't going to be close. I'm sorry, but giving this one to the Rage. Now, Yusum Palm Tree, the legendary Palm Tree, the man whose name echoes across the continent, up against Bastion. Honestly, the team on the top, that looks saucy. I'm gonna give it to Palm Tree. I think he has this one. I think these players relatively low game count in this tournament, so we'll see if they can start to earn their slots in this week. Now, Sword and Shield. Zeb struck him down. The other captain of the team, also doing very well, up against Meister. Meister, I don't know if he's even been slotted so far. He cooking with the boys, or I don't know what they're doing with the roster. DJS? DJS isn't slotting again? And Sword and Shield?
He's just
What are
back
we
from
doing?
Bangladesh.
I mean,
He's home.
I think they're going to pay the price for that. This is the best team in the tournament right now, and we're loading these plumbers. So, Zeb, going to give him the win. What is this, like 5-1? Now, Flex Slot, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Southern Cavern, oh my god, up against Fortune, also known as Nightmare, apparently. I still don't know either of his names. But I do know Southern Cavern. I do know that he has been getting his ass kicked in this tournament. I'm going to give it to the better team, Shelpa Detectives. 6-1. Wow. I mean, this has already long been decided. But
6-1. There's
no.
8 games.
Okay, well, I haven't talked about the last game. But not that it matters, because it's SBC, ACBC, up against Mona Lisa. You know what? Maybe I should respect this game some more. These guys are actually both seemingly good so far. But what's the point? Shelpa Detectives are going to win. 7-1. Guys, cooking with the boys, I don't know what we did with this roster, with this lineup, but it did not impress me. But let's see if anybody else thinks differently. I don't know who I'm passing it to.
I guess I'll take it from here. So yeah, this is a pretty highly contested sort of matchup that we have with the clear front runner and one of the contenders for playoffs right now. Start off, we have ADV, Sarimi, and Butterchoke. As far as I've been seeing, Butterchoke's not been performing very well in these team tours, kind of struggling. And his team is very, very weak to sand as far as I'm seeing. He does have some pretty cool stuff, like the Machamp's pretty good into here. There's some potential with like some like weather control and whatnot, but it's looking kind of rough, and I'm gonna give the win to Sarimi here. Next is a DPP game. It's against two of the. I think they're both 4-0, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both 4-0. They're both performing really well. I know that Max is really good, or who is really good, and I think this is a pretty explosive game. It's kind of tough for him to deal with Gyarados, and the other side to deal with like the other Infernape. So it could be a toss up. I'm gonna give it to Max just based off of bias, so that just makes it 1-1. Necrowolves and Caps Lock for game 3. The Terrakion is pretty insane. The Alakazam is also pretty insane. The Garchomp's pretty insane. Black and White is just like kind of an explosive tier, but Necrowolves has been performing pretty well in it, so I'm gonna give him the win. Next one is also kind of biased. The Rage is on my DWL team, so I am pretty biased towards him. And he does have a pretty cool team. I like the Zardex teams, especially when the only resist to fire is a Mega Blastoise, which is just going to get worn down so easily. So I think that he's got this in the bag pretty easily. Next is Usum. So I kind of like both of these teams, sort of. They look a little bit whack in some senses, but I think they're both pretty good into each other. I am going to give the edge to Palm Tree because I think he's just on the better team, though, in the end. Zip Strike him down versus Meister is next. Meister has not played a game yet, so it's going to be a lot to prove by showing off against one of the clear dominating captains through this entire tournament. But I think it's going to be an uphill battle for him, and I'm going to give the win to Zip Strike him down. And next is the first flex slot. They are both Usum, which I think is kind of funny. But it's a Lando mirror. I played against Fortune. He seemed all right. Southern Cavern, I've seen some of his games. He's not been performing well. I remember him in another team tour. He did all right, but I do think that Fortune might have it just because he's on the better team now. And then last is S versus Liza. I do not know who Liza is. I do remember SBC though, and he's been all right. I think that he has a pretty good team though. The Cartana Zygarde is a classic core with the Mega Pidgeot on there. And I think that it's gonna be able to just pull through and get him the win. So that would make it what it's I think that makes it 7-1 in favor of the Shuppet Detectives, which sounds kind of dominant. But I think that there could be a lot of toss-ups in this, so I could be very, very wrong in this series. Anyway, guess I'm gonna pass it off to Zazo.
Hey, so hearing a lot of the players versus players. Let's get the matchups. Let's talk about the matchups. I'm gonna go right to left. I'm gonna go to the newer gens to older gens. So, a lot of mirrors in this series. So, yep. So we're starting right to left here. So, I think it's a pretty cool matchup where something like a Grassium Z Heatran, if that hits the Primarina, Greninja absolutely goes silly versus that type of structure, right? Obviously, Greninja beats Kartana, Zygarde, Jirachi, Nidoking. So, I really like that matchup. I think that also having Zapdos for Kartana is super nice. You have Slowbro for the Zygarde, right? You can Ice Beam that. Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna go with the teams on the matchups. I think that matchup's so crazy in your favor. Like I'd be embarrassed if I lost with that Tapu Bulu team versus that team because I think there's just so many tools there. Greninja just goes crazy, and you also have Gunk Shot for Primarina. Obviously, it's probably gonna run Poison Berry, but you can get through that. And then the next matchup, um, the guy on the bottom does not have a rock resist versus Z Nihilego, so that's pretty free. Yeah, I know there's Manchow, but that's not like a real rock resist. The speed goes crazy. The Azelf potentially speed boost Nihilego. Latios kind of really struggles to click a move because you have to deal with the potential Pangoro, but then Tapu Fini and Mega Scizor. So think between the speed and the a lot more free clicks, the Fortune should win this one. Pretty straightforward. The next matchup, the Zebstrika matchup. I think that to some degree you got to be very proactive versus Corviknight because Zebstrika is bringing Rocky Helmet, Fizz Def, Corviknight 100% of the time. And so if you have, right, so you're going to have Rillaboom, Weavile, we got to be a little bit creative. Or in the early game, we knock off a Weavile to get rid of the Corviknight Rocky Helmet. And then if you Sword Stance up, it easily muscle through the Corviknight or Primarina potential pivot as well. And it's a really creative team. Anytime you have grassy terrain, there's also electric terrain as well. There's always a potential to run a grassy seed or electric seed. And Mew, one of the mons that kind of benefit from that because you could run like a quirky Dragon Dance set with like a grassy seed because if Weavile muscles through the Corviknight, obviously Dragon Dance, Earthquake, Psychic Fangs, and then like a Thunder Punch because Electric Train is up. So pretty crazy. So, yeah, I predict Zebstrika to win because a lot of his stuff is pretty straightforward. But if you can get creative, right? So like early game, we know Coco's always going to U-turn on the Needle King. We know that Corviknight's going to be switching in the Weavile, the Rillaboom. But like if you can, I think Heatran, yeah, does have that weird terrain move to hit the Primarina under terrain. So you got double, I think it's like Terrain Pulse and Electric Terrain and Grassy Terrain. So Primarina is not a good switch into Heatran here. And Heatran is super deadly if Komodo doesn't come. So matchups, I really like the Cooking with the Boys matchups. And then the next one too. Mega Mawile is a weird mon because it's so slow, but Uxie cannot touch it. Klefki cannot touch it. If Mega Gallade gets a kill and then you go Mega Mawile to get the Intimidate off, you get a free play rough. That's ridiculous. And then like a Kibia Berry Superior is so hard to deal with because Kibia goes helps versus Nidoking, helps versus Sludge Wave, Thundy, and then Gunk Shot Greninja. Your Grass Resist is Klefki, so that's not great because Chirp could also always run Heal Belt, or you have Healing Witch support with Mesprit. Actually, going to be the matchup that I like the most because that Etsy guy, I mean, really cool team, and like Nidoking is not. It seems like a really good zero check, but there's a lot of zero checks that muscle through. You don't get the 2 kills, but if you just play it a little bit long term, zero could easily outmuscle Nidoking. And you have Mesprit to always pivot on Nidoking. It's going to be like a really bulky set. The Rage versus Grim. Now, that Grim team is probably... I'll probably remember that team for the next couple of years because it was probably the most rocks weak Oros team of all time. And that is exactly what you don't want to do in Oros. Like, I think it had like an Arcanine on that team. And that team, they were thinking like, oh, I got a Mega Blastoise. I can Rapid Spin and Ghost can Spin Block me because I got Dark Pulse. And yeah, Mega Blastoise is weak to hazards. So, yeah, Rage has a super easy win here. The Skarmory get up a couple spikes. Mega Blastoise is then forced to Rapid Spin. You can run a couple different Cofagrigus do punish Blastoise. Like if you can EV correctly with like a Custap Cofagrigus with like Destiny Bonds to kind of lure the Blastoise, that can be cool. So Blitz has so many tools there. And then yeah, Mew is really good end game mon. As long as you deal with Torn, because you don't have a flying resist, as long as you can deal with Torn, I think you're fine. I guess Tentacruel is a good flying resist there. And then we got the Boomer gens here. So, yeah, I mean, you have a lot of counterplay versus Garchomp because between like Donphan, Rotom, Metagross, like, I mean, of course, you're always going to have, you always can click Dragon Claw, Draco, and stuff like that, but I mean, obviously, Rotom, Donphan, Metagross is going to make, it's not like Garchomp has like mega free clicks. And you want to use Garchomp a little bit defensively because that is your rock resist versus Tracheon. But yeah, I agree. I forgot who was saying it, but like Zam goes crazy because of Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball Psychic. That's so hard to deal with. And then a lot of mirror matchups, right? Double Metagross. The next matchup here is the best matchup from player perspective. Said double 4-0 teams. So, yeah, I mean, it's the battle of the Infernapes here. And I think that technically, I think Blastoise is a way better check to Infernape than Like, because it's very unclear. Because, like, yeah, you can kind of use Gyarados for Infernape, but that's super unclear, right? Because of HB Electric and shit. So, yeah, you can run Wakanberry and shit, but it's not. Plus, if you get up Stealth Rocks, it's a problem. So, I actually like, and then even Ursaring with like Return plus Crunch, Restock, or even like Body Slam, Crunch, Restock, like that is crazy to deal with. And then we'll finish that up with the last ADV team. Everybody's hating on my boy Butterchoke, and think that Starmie's a big problem, right? Because T-Tar is always annoying. Dragon Dance, you can Hidden Power Flying, a champ, but I think every time Army comes in, as long as Kaladol actually is pretty annoying because Lantern's pretty good tier 2 because of water move plus HV grass plus electric move is pretty good, but yeah, Starmie's a big problem. Salamence, you do have Vaporeon, but that's going to be getting chipped by the sand. Kang, I could see an early game Kang being really good because you don't want to use Cradilly for Kang. You need Cradilly for the water guys, and then Kang could easily carry fire coverage for Fortress and Brick Break for T-Tar. So very unclear how you deal with Kang. So I will say the Cooking with the Boys are going to have an upset this week. How about that?
I respect it. Goose, you on next, or you want me to anchor?
I'll take it. Here's the thing: when everybody looks at Butterchoke's 1-2 record, he didn't get to play me week 1, which would have been a free win because I was still washed at the time. So in spirit, he's actually 2-2. So you got to remember that. So I have Butterchoke winning this one by virtue of he's got a win to make up for. In DPP, this is the big game. Also, I liked how you were going right to left. I was lost. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, wait, where the hell are we? Number 2, we've got Max versus Guile. I like the team with the bronze on, going with Max. And Black-White, Necro versus Capsock. Capsock isn't that good. Necro, I think, is good. Anyway. In ORAS, we have the Rage versus Grim. I like Grim. I don't like the matchup for Grim, like he was saying. Really rocks weak. I mean, hell, it's Toxic Spike weak, kind of. You don't want Kyurem and Mega Blastoise Poison. That's one way to really wear down Stoise as the spinner, because I had to deal with that against Ethan a week ago. It comes to spin, now the son of a bitch is poisoned. So I like the Rage. In the first of 3 Usum games, dear God, could you imagine having to watch 3 Usum games for your team in a week? I've got Bastion winning, Sword and Shield. I have Zeb strike them down, and then the other 2 Usum games, God knows why 2 people would choose to flex that. I have Fortune and Liza. That's a 4-4 tie. Take it away, Lou.
Wow, inspiring analysis there. All right, I'm keeping up with the trend. With
running long.
All right, I've switched over to water, but I'm keeping up with the trend. I like Butterchoke here. Now let me tell you something. So ADV is pre-special defense boost. That Starmie is just going to try and go through the Tyranitar post some chip. Likewise, I've been playing with Butter for a couple of years. This team is tailored to him. I think he's going to be fully comfortable. And plus, I just really like the matchup in his favor. I think he's going to be able to force progress. I think he's going to be able to take home the victory. This second game, Mr. A Large Mongoose goes, I like the team with the bronze on. Well, it's a mirror, and they both have a bronze on. Riddle me that, homeboy. All right. However, look at the differences in the team. All right. One of these players, the differences they have is a Gyarados. They also have a 600 BST Celebi. Celebi is a mon that rewards, as a large mongoose would say, the thinking man. Not only that, fellas, this player has a Rotom. That's a real ghost right there, not that Dollar Tree Bayonet that I see on Max's team. Now, don't get me wrong, Max can pull this out. Max might very well win this game. However, I'm seeing a reoccurring theme when I watch the Max tape. He is on a John Friede, Lou Rinaldi, Team PDT run with destiny in terms of God has just been on his side. It doesn't matter who you are. Eventually, Super Mario runs out of lives. Eventually, you're going to close your eyes for the last time. And Gil has a lot to prove. He's coming off a hiatus. I think that Gil he's got a stronger support system, undoubtedly. DJS is jet lagged. He just got back to the States from Bangladesh. Welcome back. I think the detectives are going to mock. I hate mocks, but it's working out for these guys. I think they're going to mock this game 72 times through. And I got Gil staying undefeated. And Max, I don't have your luck running out, but I have one of the clovers of your 4-leaf clover. I know you're over there in the aisles. I have one of them falling off. So you're going to 3 clovers. All right. All that said, we're only on to game 3. I got Necro Wolves. I think I do. Let me check my chicken scratch. Yeah, I got the Necro Wolves taking this game. Black and white. Shootout extravaganza. Beyond that, this next one we can go through quick. We've got a player with some pedigree, the Rage, who is playing some good ball again. I'm in like a million servers with the Rage right now. He's playing good ball as of the last few weeks. And Gym Leader Grimetz, he's one of my good friends, but he's not really like a real player. He's a front office guy. You know, he's like the bat boy on the team. You tell him, hey man, I'm a little bit hungry. Go to the deli, go run and get me a sandwich. He's like, I got you. But if you're putting your confidence in this guy, you're not going to win games. All right? Gym Leader Grimetz, one of the great guys. Caleb Grimetz, one of the great guys of draft, but just not going to be able to go toe-to-toe with the Rage. All right. Halfway through. Palm tree. I still don't know where this tree sprouted up from. I have no idea who the palm tree is. I've heard good things. I heard good things from my friend from Brazil last week talking about the palm tree. However, I do know who Bastion is. Zazo was over here saying, listen, we could talk about the players, but we got to talk about the X and O's. All right? We got to look at the tape. You know, I'm doing a little review. Bastion surprised me a little bit. They're a better player than I perceive them to be. But also, I don't know. I feel like this palm tree team is not. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. I got Bastion taking it. Next up, I've got Zeb strike him down versus Meister. Newsflash, guys. If DJS subs in, this is the game. He's subbing in here. However, with that aside, look at that goddamn Weavile. Like, get through the Corviknight. That's going to force a lot of progress. Yeah, I think a late game Weavile is going to pull this one out in a close one. I've got Meister / DJS taking this game. Alright. Around the far turn now. At the top of the stretch, I've got my good friend Nightmare beating Southern Cavern. Southern Cavern is like a cavern. The highs are highs, the lows are really low. I don't know where this guy's at. I know that Nightmare is, he's in a good team situation there. I've got him taking it. Last game, I think you guys did a really good job of breaking down this game. It seems like you guys are way more enthusiastic about Yusum than I am. I hate Yusum. But the matchup favors Essie. I think they're very closely ranked players, but because I feel like Essie has the advantage, ultimately that's where I'm going to go with. All in all, I've got Shuppet Detectives improving to 4 wins and 1 tie. And with that said, on to the next segment.
It is that time of the week. A large mongoose. Here are the picks, the game picks. A large mongoose versus Voz. Lou Rinaldi versus Nintago Foxo. Fuck. 48 versus King Rock. Jesus, I'm getting fucking hard. Mac Lango versus Ahili. Laxus versus Steering. High Crocs versus Johnny. Blaze versus Diablo. Dract versus DM Clay. What the fuck is wrong with Johnny? The fuck, you don't have a name? Drop alert.
Okay. We're going to go left to right this time. Big Goose. And is it just me? Or do I not see a ground type versus a Raikou team? Like, Registeel's the ground type on that team. Moose, don't lose this one. Because, like, Raikou's goes crazy. Even Gyarados is nice once you chip down the Zapdos, because unless my Milotic carries HP Electric, be in a good spot. And then we got Lose Game. And this one is a lot more closer matchup because Breloom can be annoying for a number of reasons. And Mamoswine as well. So if Lou can make correct plays around those guys, I think you're going to be fine. Personally, I don't think Heatran is a check at all to Snorlax. So. And Breloom cannot hit Snorlax hard enough after a couple curses. So I think as long as Lou plays, I think the longer the game, the more it's going to benefit Lou. So I think you should win that one. Next one.
Salud.
Is I got man, this one's super close because Pyramid nuts because like all you need is just like Ice Beam, HP Fire, and you're good. And you have like Blastoise and Garchomp for Infernape. So I kind of like King Drock to win there. And then the Oros matchup, I think that Garchomp has a super free matchup with Crunch, Sword Stance Crunch. Because you have Rotom for the Donphan, so have Ali winning that one. And then next, Steering, that Tapu Koko matchup is really crazy because the opponent does have Nidoking, but you also have Rotom for Nidoking, and if Nidoking's defensive, it's not going to be able to break through the Rotom. So having the double electric is nice. Now, Laxus also has her own Rotom, so like Rotom can check Rotom Wash, but like it's Volt switched on and a Mega Venusaur. And Torn's not the greatest Mega Venusaur switch in because if rocks are up, you get the poison. That spells trouble. And now I think Hycrox, I think he should win this one. Coco Mirror, a little bit annoying there, but Latios is really annoying to deal with. The speed tier. I can see Incineroar potentially being a little bit annoying for Latios. Maybe Glow King, but I think Scrafty could be super dangerous with Dragon Dance as well. Because you can't go hard into Coco on Scrafty unless you know the set. Next matchup, Blaze versus Dial Pro. I think that, man, this is actually a mirror. T-Tar Raikou mirror. I'm just going to go with whoever's got the better record because, I mean, that's actually a mirror match.
So Blaze was a pickup at mids. He won a DPP tour that featured AIM, Geronis, Hades Vendor, a couple other players.
Yeah, very nice. I think like Staraptor is pretty cool here because you don't really want to go Raikou on Staraptor, then you have close combat for employing on T-Tar. So that's one advantage. And if you can chip down the T-Tar, Mismagius is also really, really, really good. Don't know if it has Hex in that gen. I don't think it does, but could be nice for Gliscor if it does. And then this is, yeah, the last matchup is like if Dak had a real Pursuit Mon, so like Scizor does have Pursuit, but if you had a real Pursuit Mon, Keldeo actually 6-0s that team. Keldeo cooks Hydreigon, Ferrothorn, Cinderace, Lando. So this is I know it's Gen 8. So I think that a really cool Necrozma set could be nice with like Meteor Beam because you can outmuscle King and Hydreigon like a breaker Necrozma. I think like Toxic, Heat Wave, Rocks, Morning Sun is fine too. Dak's got a lot of options. Dak should win one pretty easy though, I think. And yeah, and then if you can annoy the Ferrothorn, even Nihilego with Meteor Beam is nice as well. And then Torn, like there's actually no flying resists Jolteon, so be a free Torn game here. Dak should get this.
All right.
Somebody.
Yeah, all right. With that said, who's following up the OG?
I'll follow up, I guess. All right. So for the first game, we got Goose into Vaz right now. And I see that there is no ground type on there, but I am gonna say, other than Raikou, it's kind of tough to make progress into the Melodic or the Registeel, even with a lot of your other guys. Like Gyarados is going to have a tough time muscling past it, and Raikou is going to need to be supported heavily in this matchup. Otherwise, it is going to just get worn down. So I do think that it's actually going to be a lot tougher than it just looks on paper, just from the first view of the game. And I think Vaz is the type of person to play very patiently and find those openings to make sure that that Raikou doesn't do what it is looking like it can just do to this team without a ground type. So I am actually going to give the point to Vaz on this one.
Okay, I'm only going to make this one comment. Really sorry to do this. One really cool tactic, because Raikou so forcing, I understand that what you're saying, but like if you bring out Gyarados and you really think something like Milotic is the check to Gyarados, and then I think Raikou doubles, because you're saying like, Raikou
Yeah.
is going to have to be greatly supported, but I think part of it too is just from the playing aspect, where I think a lot of Vaz's team is straightforward. Okay, this checks this does that, and I think Raikou doubles can get super crazy. So
Yeah.
sorry for interrupting. I want to say that.
I do think there is potential to play against that, and I do agree with that. But I do think that it is going to be a lot of him having to make like these perfect plays. Otherwise, he is going to get just sort of like worn down by the rest of the team. And he is going to have like time limits on that, because there is like the Hariyama knockoff just like able to just wear down all the other support pieces like the Hypno or the Regirock or whatnot in this game. And the Zapdos is also really, really good into this game. So I think it's close, but I do think I give the edge to Vaz in this matchup. Let's see. Next was Lou versus Nintago. Lou, I think the Zapdos is kind of insane. Mamo's like an okay ground type to switch in, but it doesn't have thick fat, and the Zapdos, I believe, can run Heat Wave, so it is going to be tough to get that guy in on certain things. Along with that, there's stuff like the Sceptile, which I think is kind of underrated in this matchup, is just faster than everything, and I think Leech is like really annoying into this kind of team, where Braylon just like struggles to get in because everything can just run a move that can kind of screw it up really bad. Heatran gets worn down pretty easily, and other than that, there's not really that much for the Scizor either, so I am going to give that one to Lou. Black and white. This one is kind of tough to really get an idea of, because I think both these teams are really, really good into each other. I think Thundurus is really tough for King Rock to deal with. I think Infernape's really tough for him. But I also think the two dragons and the Azelf are also tough for 48 to deal with. So I think it's going to be close. I think it can go either way. So just based off of performances throughout this team tour, I think I would have to give the slight edge to King Rock here. All right. For Oras, I really like the Rye inspired Mew Keldeo Kyurem type team over here. I think Manectric is really cool on it. I think that it has a really, really solid matchup in here. Just really being able to annoy this entire team with just having just electric fire ice coverage and being able to pivot into certain things like Kyurem. And also like any sort of support Mews just annoy the hell out of this team as well. Next is Usum. So let me see. We have this Coco Lando Rotom team over here. We played against this last week. I really wasn't a big fan of the team. Like, I don't like that there's a Venusaur on there, but all that aside, I do think that Tapu Koko is really, really good into this matchup. Nidoking is like an okay check, but it is just pretty easy for these kinds of Coco teams to just sort of like handle it a lot of the time and just find their way to just like steamroll through after like chipping it down. So I am going to give the edge over here to steering. High Crocs versus Johnny in the Meal is a Coco Mirror, Coco Lando. Let me see. So what was I do like how the Latios kind of does in this game. I think that Mon is like a pretty big threat to this team, honestly. What else? Sorry about this.
Yeah, you're good. Dude, that was
it's a weird matchup to look at, so I'm like trying to think it out, really. I think the Koa and the Scrafty, like the low tier fighters, are like pretty good into these matchups too. It's gonna be tough. I honestly think I'm gonna give the win to High Crocs though, just like looking off vibes, because I think it's kind of tough to look at the matchup and kind of get an idea just off looking at it for the first time right now. The next one, these teams are really, really similar, actually. Trying to see like what one side could have the edge over the other on. And other than the fact that one of them does have a spinner and the other one doesn't, into sort of a spikes type of team, even though there's like a drift blim, I don't think that Mon is very good looking in to bring into this matchup. So I do think I'm gonna give the edge to Blaze Fabi. And for the final team, I'm really not good at analyzing these Swish games, all right.
Bro, look at Torn T.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one's a lot easier to figure out.
Yeah, that one is easier, yeah, for sure. Torty is really good. This whole team is very weak to flying, and Jolteon is generally not a very good mon that you want to bring often at all.
His
So
flying
it is,
resist, his flying resist is Slow King, but he needs Slow King for Keldeo.
Facts.
yeah,
I was gonna say the exact same
absolutely,
thing.
yeah, that's absolutely true. So yeah, Dax should be winning this matchup. But yeah, that's my take on this series.
All right, wow. So I gotta say, for my rankings, the color commentary has inspired me. I will make an effort to step up here. Instead of just meat riding the player with the better record, let's take a look at these guys. So, first up, Vaz and Mongoose. So, yeah, the big discussion is about this Raikou in the matchup. And I think it's kind of hard when Registeel kind of walls this entire team. In my low deck, same thing. Yeah, you can make the doubles into Raikou. Eventually, you will break through Registeel if you click Thunderbolt 100 times, but like that's the thing in these ADV games, they're just so slow paced a lot of the time. I think that's going to be easier said than done. And then yeah, again with the rest of the team is just completely walled by Milotic forever. It's tough, right? I think one thing Mongoose does have up his sleeve is the heal bell. So if the game goes a little bit long, you have a lot of Thunder Wave you can fling at the other team. Maybe that's where he can get the advantage. And he does have, with the Hypno, he can baton pass Calm Minds. But Raikou is really the only recipient for that. But that said, though, if it gets to the point where you wear down the Registeel and you can get free Calm Minds into that Raikou, maybe that's how he gets there. But still, all that being said, I think just with how hard it is to break the team overall, I think I just got to give that one to Vaz. But Mongoose has been playing well this tournament. Both these guys have, so going to be a pretty good match. Now, DPP. Lou Rinaldi and up against Nintago, the 4-0 captain. So up until this point, every week, Lou's been kind of getting thrown into cannon fodder, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but And then, every week we go to predict Lou to win, and then he's like, "Oh, actually, guys, I actually have a lot of respect for my opponent. This guy's actually capable of winning." No, but this time, this is like no joke. This is somebody that is actually good at the game. So he's gonna have to prove himself here. But looking at the matchup, though, again, I'm always gonna think that the Zapdos looks like Jesus in every matchup. Realistically, like Heatran, some especially defensive Heatran, is your best Zapdos answer. And in DPP, we know how fast things die. The Heatran, I don't think that's going to be able to handle that long term. Like Mamoswine, sure, you have the Ice Shard, but other than that, you're getting Heat Waved. Overall, I feel like I'm going to give this one to Lou. He has also the Sceptile to get ahead of the Azelf, which seems like Taigo's best weapon here. I do like potentially a Pursuit from Sceptile on that, like maybe a Life Orb, and obviously like Earthquake for Heatran, like kind of underutilized, like the Pursuit on the non-Dark types. But if you can eliminate the Azelf, I think that takes away a lot of what Nintendo has. He does have the Crobat for the Sceptile, but what he doesn't have is Hazard Control at all. So I like maybe getting the Mesprit in early, getting the rocks up, and like what are you even supposed to do? And that'll put the pressure on the Crobat and the rest of the team too. Like what I was saying earlier with the Heatran, and that's not going to be able to switch in all day with rocks up perma, So overall, Lou, give that one to him. Black and White and King Rock with the Garchomp again, up against 48. The Garchomp just looks insane. I think Scizor as the Dragon switch in, which is garbage. And you have 2 Dragon types here. You got the Kyurem as well. Like, I don't know. That seems like pretty clear cut to me. He does also. I like the potential Miss Deriva slot here. We saw him slot in the Frillish of all things, and one of the last week games. I don't think it worked out for him, but like as a spin blocker here against Donphan specifically, what can Donphan do? Like it's not running the 5 base power knockoff. It can't actually do anything. So if you want to go for that and limit the Thundurus and the Gyarados with the rocks, like I feel like that's a pretty good game plan. Like Infernape and Scizor, like spamming U-turn and all that shit, they're not gonna love that either. So I do like King Rock here. Whereas A Healy, McLagno, the Garchomp is pretty demon here, but past that, I don't know. I feel like this team like hinges everything on Florges to like stay afloat against like the Keldeo, the Mega Manectric specifically. It's like really volt switch spam and button clicking here. With Mew, I like a do nothing Will-O-Wisp set here. Honestly, I think Wisp is very free, and I think that's just gonna be hard to deal with. Nothing too crazy there. McLogno, I'm gonna give him that one. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Laxus. Oh my God, Laxus against Steering. Now, I didn't see last week he was playing. I would have given him a special shout out. This guy carried one of my past teams to victory, like single-handedly, just owned the VGC slot. Now, this isn't VGC. This is a real Pokemon draft format, but he did play last week and he did get hacked out of a win. So, like, I still have the full confidence in him. But as far as the matchup goes, let's see what hasn't been said so far. I mean, yeah, we got. Oh yeah. Thanks for setting me up for that one. But look at Gallade, like close combat, ice punch, Zen headbutt. What the fuck are you supposed to do? Like and a move for Coco, I guess, Earthquake. I don't know. Like he has Nidoking for Coco. Obviously, it's Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. It can get through that thing with a Z move or without it even. But I don't know. I think the Mega Glade's Demon. You got Torn as well. What is the Klefki is your flying resist. Not great, not the worst thing, but like kind of whatever. But on the other, like double electric, somebody mentioned, I forget. But so pressured to check the Coco, that makes the volts all the more free, as that's not ever switching into Rotom, for example. So I don't know. I think Steering, he has some tools, but I feel like Laxus on this one. Now, Sword and Shield, High Crocs, Johnny and the Real guys. I'm not gonna get stun locked on this one. There's a lot to sit through here. Like pretty similar looking teams. I think the Slow Kings kind of got a wall at the Latios and Coco. I don't know. Seems easier said than done. But yeah, I don't know. I think just based on the fact that High Crocs can't win a game, seemingly, I think I got to give it to Johnny and the Real. No, Flex Slot, DPP. Let's see. Oh yeah, so this is another super mirror match. But when we look at what's different on these teams, we do have Garbage Donphan, at least as some kind of way to clear the hazards. But there's really nothing on Dialpo's side. And I think that is a bit of a problem when you have sand as well. Like that, the hazard chip is gonna be racking up. Granted, there are a lot of sand immunes on Dialpo's side, but still, like, at least the Donphan can steady the ship with the removal. I mean, Miss Mag, another matchup where Will-O-Wisp is pretty free. Gonna give it to Blaze Bobby. And what are we at here? This is I want to say, yeah, this is 4-3. Stand and Bang up at least for a tie here against FMP. Wow, who would have seen this coming?
We tie as of
But I know. Now the last game there to decide is Stand and Bang gonna win or tie. So Dat against Daniel Marquavius Clay, 44. Guys, what did we do? Daniel Marquavius did not drop the Flying Resist. As a matter of fact, if you want to bring the Jolteon, Dak can bring the Jolteon mirror, and they can both just sit there and wall each other. I mean, this is just heinous. You need Slowking as your Flying Resist, and then Keldeo will just rip this team in half. Yeah, I feel like just off matchup, you can't call this any other way. I think Daniel. I'm trying to think of another name that starts with M, but you're just Daniel Marquavius now.
Donquavius.
I'm sorry, man, but he's gonna have to really cook up something masterful here to get the win.
He's gonna have to win with like Dual Dance Lando and hope Eldegoss doesn't come. Like straight up.
The Lando is really good looking, but fuck, I can't see that winning the entire game on its own.
It's either that or nothing.
Yep. So wow, Stand and Bang 5-3, getting their first win as predicted against FMP.
Listen, everybody needs a hero. We showed last week that the Shuppet detectives are mortal. Dak went to like an amusement park or some family adventure trip and decided to derail our first win of the season. But look, we showed that our high is high enough to stand in the ring, take a win off the table. I can't guarantee us getting a win because we can only get ties for whatever reason. But one thing I have to say, first, Gaiman, that was excellent analysis. You brought up the Rye-inspired team. I had my hand in the cookie jar, and I was showing team comps to McLogno, and yes, I did show him the Rye ORES Cup team, and that was the model of what we were trying to emulate with a couple of tweaks. If you listen to Rye's video for that team, one of the critiques that he said was he really wished he had Roselia over the Vileplume. But with that said, we tried to mimic that in the comp of that team, and I think it came out great. I think that's one of our better ORS teams. Likewise, a couple of coach or manager, captain notes here. So, two things that I think are really going to help Stand and Bang the rest of the way. So, the first note, High Crocs 28K player. He's my highest valued player. However, I'm not going to keep going down a path of like experimenting when I know he's a bona fide modern gen player. I also know that I am like one of the more prominent DPP players. It just makes too much sense. I'm going to keep him available to play everything from Gen 6 on. And I'm going to stand here and slot 4, 5, 6, 3 if needed. I'm going to kind of hold it down, this DPP slot, with the other addition, Blaze Fabi. This week, Blaze Fabi is going to play their first team tour game, and Blaze Fabi is going to start a lengthy career in the past gen team tour community. And ultimately, if I'm trying to cast a prayer, my season lies on motherfucking Blaze Fabi. Let's get it, Blaze.
All right. So looking at ADV1 for Very Loud Boomers into the retirement homes ADV. It looks pretty dire for the retirement home, just from a first glance. It looks like Metagross is kind of insane here. Like, the best thing you can hope for is to get like some sort of chip on it, hope it doesn't agility, and then try to trap it with Dugtrio. And even if you're successful at that, there's a whole bunch of other things to be worrying about. The spikes are like pretty good, but it's pretty easy to manage them with the Tentacruel. But unironically, this does look like one of the best Gen 3 Flygon matchups I've ever seen. I think Quake Slide is just really tough for this team to deal with in general.
Hey, one thing for the other side that I like here, Choice Band Metacham doesn't look bad. You got one fighting resist. It's Venusaur. Just put HP Fly. Brick Break HP Fly. That's all you need.
Metacham's alright. It's pretty decent. It's going to be a little bit tricky, I'd say, to like get it in, and it's going to probably be doing like a 1-for-1 trade, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think you'd
Because
have
the
to
rest of this team looks a little bit too fast for
you'd have to
Metacham.
bat and pass that with Zapdos or Double Switch. It's a horrific matchup. Number one, Agility, Metagross, and Aerodactyl. Both like sub-leech
because
together just win.
I mean, it's not that hard to get up spikes. I know there's Tentacruel, but you can punish that. And if you win the speed tie with Flygon versus Tentacruel.
This is a horrific matchup. But from the other side, you gotta give it from both sides. Metacham can kind of do something. Maybe a sub-reversal type of deal if they don't bring quick attack on Flygon.
I think it's
they
just
will.
A very hard game for the retirement home player who just got picked up. I think it's going to be a very hard game positioning-wise. The Dugtrio can do something if the Metagross isn't able to get the agility off, and it's able to come in revenge kill scenarios. However, the only angle I can really see is if the Metacham, is able to start chipping into Very Loud Boomers roster there, and you might be able to open it up and start to claw your way in, but that team is just a dumpster fire. You've got two Enephemons. You have do nothing Bulkymons. It's just super rigid, and unless dominoes start to fall, I can't see the path as well.
Now, it's
Metacham.
You got the two special walls and no special attackers really on the other side that are relevant. Everything's physical.
Yeah, Blissey's going like max defense, just trying to live a hit from something. I mean, everything is one spike away from folding over and dying. And everything can punish the Tentacruel on the team, so it looks tough for them, not gonna lie. Of course, I'm gonna think my own team is gonna win, but I mean, Metacham, like I said, I will run through a wall for that guy. I love Metacham and ADV, but it's still gets outsped by a lot. The natural bulk is good across the board on the team. Everything can live a hit. I don't think it's going to be enough to win.
All right, so we agree pretty much that this matchup is pretty tough for Retirement Home to pull out, and it's looking very likely for Charizard to win.
Yeah, I think we all agree.
Charizard 5-0, probably.
Next one is
6-0.
Hito.
All right.
Would be my guess.
All right, who wants
next
first
one's
at
Heat.
Rathmon, Geo?
I guess I'll start this one off as well. So Rathmon Geo, Geo's been performing really well, but just like even with that aside, this Zapdos looks really, really rough for Rathmon to deal with. Alongside with like Shaman, like the Infernape's scary, but you do have like two really, really good checks to it in the Blastoise and the Nidoqueen. Like a setup Infernape could be scary, but just having both of those and like as long as you keep even one of them healthy, you should usually just be fine.
I'll say this. So Geo is running my favorite archetype in the format here. I've used Zapdos, Shaman, Snorlax like it's the gospel for the last few years. And he's got a great spinner in Blastoise as well. I'm not the biggest fan of the bottom half of Geo's team, but he still has enough tools here. All right, Geo, I don't need to tell you. Build that Zapdos as bulky. You don't need any attack or special attack investment. Put everything into physical defense and HP. Cast a couple of Tastely T-Waves, some Roosts, Thunderbolt, and like one other attack.
It's gotta be HP Ice, right?
Yeah,
Just for
HP Ice
Flygon.
Yeah.
for the Flygon.
Yeah.
And that's all you really need. All you have to do to really coast to a victory here, when he has a Boomon like the Bronzong, just make sure that you don't risk the Zapdos. I think you can coast to it. Another thing, take this out of my bag, because the truth is out. You're going to throw some bait. You're going to chum the waters. Snorlax, Choppleberry, Infernape, eat fucking shit. Alright? Everybody kept on saying, Infernape is the best. Infernape, #1 DPP mod. My ass. My ass. Geo's got the real #1 DPP mod.
Facts.
And I am not speculating. I am talking objective win rates. The other mon that was in the conversation for it, objectively speaking as well, was Metagross, who this last go around the sun, I've heard for the first time in my life that Metagross is just more expensive Bronzong. You people should be ashamed of yourself. Those two mons are both better than Infernape. And
Bronzong.
Dude, I
kid
agree.
you not, dude. I'm pretty sure King Clyde has thrown more shade at Metagross in the last 3 or 4 months since he's been out of jail than I have ever seen. Just
One
like
of the conditions of his parole is to slander Metagross.
they let this man out of his cell, and all he does is he's got a fucking death sentence for Metagross. And also, a fan of the show is a good friend of mine, Endless. Salud, keep doing a great job. That man was the Iron Man on distortion coverage, and I really wanted to get that in. Salud, my friend. All right, who wants next on this? I obviously am riding heavy with Gio. Oh, Anthony Zazzo, where'd he go?
Yeah, he got out of here. He got to go, apparently.
Hey, we got him in for a good shift, 2 series.
Yeah, no, it was good, but yeah.
The Zapdos, it looks too scary. Maybe I guess would you bring Ampharos just to wall it in particular and deal with the consequence of you having Ampharos on your team?
I mean, even then, he's got good
I
answers to it on the other side. I don't know if that helps.
I mean, other than sitting there on it, I don't really think that it does much for the team in general. I think you have to just
Is it in Gen 3 or 4, does Thunderwave not work on electric types yet? Or is that Gen 6?
No, it
it
works.
still works. It
It
still
doesn't work
works.
on Volt Absorb anymore. Is the
Yeah,
difference?
until Gen 6.
That's what I thought. I mean, you could always just bring it to spam T-Wave and Thunderbolt, and that's basically it. And then Nidoqueen comes and clicks Earth Power and Ice Beam and Stealth Rope.
It's a little bit
whatever.
tough when we just have the natural Curemonde that just resists electric as well. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, all that one does is really slow down the losing to Zapdos deal.
Along with that, there's no grass type on here, so like even like a Leech Seed Shaman is gonna be really tough. Like Crobat's gonna probably need to come to this matchup unironically, just like for the speed and for just
Yeah.
not allowing Shaman to do what it does.
I mean, Raph does have a couple of angles. If he's able to sniff out the Baitmons for Ape, Infernape, and Crobat, do give him a path for victory. And, it has to be said here, Weavile in this format is not the Weavile of more modern gens. It kind of has pillow hands with the movesets that it has access to here. I'm just being frank. I mean,
Yeah, he is just like okay, whereas like the knockoff era Weavile is just like insane to deal with.
Yeah, on top of Boots and Triple Axel, it has nothing in this gen. Forced to step on the rocks. Not that big of a threat, all things considered. The one thing he does have is speed is way worse, but when you take away everything else, I don't know about that guy.
You might even sit it. Might bring Aggron instead to flex on him a little bit.
Yeah.
Aggron's an
I mean, hey, look at Earthring though. You don't have
Yeah,
anything but
you got
Aggron.
normal absorb. Yeah.
You never know. Yeah, I've got
Honestly,
Geo
yeah.
winning this one big.
Yeah, I agree. Does anyone want to start for the black-white one?
Now I know why Zazo left when they left. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the famous Fight Club of Zazo, Aki VGC, Gypsy King. Well, Gypsy King ain't here. I wish Gypsy King was here. But they're feuding with Wife Ike, Wifeki, however you want to say their name. All right, yeah. So that might, Zazo knew when to pop smoke. All right. Let me focus my eyes. All right. Wife Ike with what a funky team, fellas. Karam Black, Excadrill. Man, this is like a lima beans and nacho cheese team over here. What are we looking at?
This is the lose to Jellicent and Rotomo team, is what this is.
I will say this. Wife Ike is a black and white player. And this might make Zazo upset because he wanted coverage based on the matchups. What you need to know here, though, folks, you have one player who mains the format. You have another player who is like the Brooks Y. Wait, isn't Brooks Y on this team? Wow, they finally benched him! They finally benched Brooks Y! It's a miracle!
The slander is absolutely insane.
That's Brooks Y, who I think is 3-0 in the Cucumber Cup Classic circuit, buddy.
The notorious Cucumber Cup Classic circuit.
I don't give a
Brooks
crap
was able
about
to
that.
win.
We just covered Gio's thing. I don't care about no cucumber, melon, whatever. Coltolari. I mean, I love Gio, but I don't. That's an irrelevant statistic. Kudos to the retirement home. They finally retired. Punching bag of the league, Brooks Y. Now the next.
I was
step,
wrong. He's 2-1.
I am shadow captaining for the retirement home. Dawson, I know because you're the real captain here. Kizu is leading you astray. He's just putting his name on the project. It is Dawson who is leading this team. Dawson. Jacato is the new Brooks Y. That guy is fucking winless. You guys have come too far. You have shown that you can stay in this. This is the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble, you guys entered at the start of it. Somehow you are still in the Royal Rumble. If you want to run the tables, you got to get this guy out of here. He's just all right. Wife Ike might have lima beans with nacho cheese sauce as their team this week. They've got a lot of like random mons. Good, but I'm struggling to see it with my Scotch eyes how this is a team. This is like the fucking All-Stars. This is like the NBA All-Stars squad for the non-world teams last week. Like, they got no center on the team. There's just like, it's an incomplete team. But they're players, you know, they're mons. Jacato is just so bad at the game. I don't care if Jacato had the better team, which they have. They're just bad. That's my analysis. But it's true analysis. It's true. All right. How are you guys going to follow that up? You're going to tell me Jacato's going to win?
Yes.
Yeah, this team is absolute dookie. I don't know how anyone is supposed to win this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Can Rotomotor sits and clicks discharge and Will-O-Wisp and Leaf Storm and whatever it wants all day. That's the sixth one down.
That's when Big Electrode comes in and just goes Electrode Smash and kills everybody.
Electrode.
You don't know anything, kid.
I wasn't looking far enough on the teams. You're right. The max HP final gambit of Selgor is going to catch it turn one, and it won't matter. Actually, I'd bring that. I would bring that this game.
Oh, let me write that down.
Frida, what is this team's record, by the way? I'm curious.
I think it hasn't won yet, but the keyword there, is yet. All right.
All right. You know what? I believe in.
I
don't. If he's getting glazed as much as he has been, then you know what? Yeah, I believe in him.
In fact, I'm gonna DM Jacato 03. I'm gonna help him through this game.
He doesn't need it.
He clearly, if we listen to Lou, he does. Apparently, he's the worst person ever.
I don't know why Lou's pushing out propaganda for the retirement home right now. I don't know what kind of underhanded.
I'm standing here dressed like Uncle Sam's sporty cousin right now, and Wife Ike just occupied Wall Street in my country. All right, and I'm still rooting for them because Wife Ike is a real black and white player. Also, Wife Ike, Wifiki, I actually do really like Australia. I'm talking to an Australian lady right now. I also did a study abroad at the Australian Defence Force Academy. Shout out to all my Anzacs across a very big pond down over there, somewhere over there. I also work with y'all in the Orient from time to time. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, that was kind of untasteful. Like, they were hating on the United States of America. That's just, it makes me sad to see. Like, we're all striding for the same the same stuff. I can't help that. Yeah, we're a big country. We're not every single person here is going to agree with you, but you were fighting with a German player and you thought that they were one of us. How? How? All right.
Also, Toxic Spikes looks really good. To get
Yeah,
back,
they do look pretty good.
to get away from
That just a little bit of toxic spikes doesn't hurt anybody.
I think it hurts all of them. Kieran Black. Sweet
Nah.
Pie.
I think it hurts the no grounded poison team personally, but yeah.
All right, you guys are talking too much sense.
Decent.
Here's what needs to happen. All right?
All right.
We take Friedel for Wii U. Friedel for Wii U, you should play Jakato. And we should slide Aki VGC down to black and white to fight White Fiki. Give the people what they want. You two can stop bitching at one another, play one another. Who knows? Maybe do what I'm doing and a large mongoose is doing, where we're wagering on Pokemon games these days, as you can see on the channel.
Sure. I've lost all my winnings basically.
Yeah, you've donated $40 to me, but
all the money I took from Ethan has went to you. I've got $10 left in the Venmo.
Okay, you owed me a couple of dollars over the years. You're just paying it back. I understand. That's how life
You've
goes.
got it back by me picking. Listen, had I known, actually, I'm not gonna say it.
All right, let's get into this Friedel versus Aki VGC game. All right. You got a Lando T, Clef, Serp, Megalop. Guys, I'm going to be honest. This Aki VGC team, he's got the speed. It takes away a lot of the advantages that Friedel's team has. I feel like it really C-teams it kind of well. You got the Lando T, but like, as long as Aki builds this properly and he just plays it patiently, I feel like he's going to be able to pull out like a 2-0. Does anybody else see something similar or different?
Back to the other one, Lou. This guy you're picking and you're saying is a real player. He's 0-3. I just checked the records. He's not won a game.
He is right. Yeah, you're right. But they are a black and white player. And Friede, stand in my corner here. They are a black and white player.
I mean,
a bad one, allegedly.
all that glaze and for what, man?
It's black and white, all right. I mean, if you lose in black and white,
they hate my country.
Who cares?
It's an 0-3 versus 0-3 slop fest, and I just went to bat for the person that hates my country. I'm sorry.
Back to the real tier. All right.
Just go on without me.
All right. All right. Should we just keep going for the Aki versus Friedel game now?
Yeah.
Holy shit! This model you guys proposed is slower than the old one.
All right.
No,
all right.
The
we'll
mid-video
speed it up.
reform has.
I don't know. It's fun. It's more fun to interrupt.
No, it is more fun. All right.
I was playing low ladder Gen 3 OU games while you guys were yapping earlier.
And now
It was 20 minutes of nothing.
All right.
Wait. Are we still going on about the Oras matchup, or are we just gonna move on?
We're still on Oras. All right. Admin pause, everybody. Some footage got lost to the ether just now. We were rambling about Aki VGC and Friedel. The key takeaway here, Aki VGC, the majority of us picked you to win. However, if you lose, Friedel is going to be in all of our DMs shortly after this video goes on. All right, the admin move on, because that last segment was 22 minutes and we were halfway through. We are now on to Nashoba of the Great White North versus not Adam. I am not a USUM player. I would like a USUM player to provide the analysis. No better player
All right,
than Gaiman.
I'm right here. So I played against this other team, the Lando Weavile team. I thought it was absolutely horrendous personally, but that's just my take on it. But he has a pretty but the opponent has a pretty good Tapu Koko Scizor type of team. I do like this top half. I don't really like the last like 2 Mons. I don't really think that Vaporeon or Chandelure are very good anymore, unfortunately. But in general, Tapu Koko just kind of obliterates this kind of team that just has like Lando and just like Hope as its only way of like really handling Coco that well.
Gaiman, what about the Nashoba priority options against the threats on not Adam's team?
So I think that Scizor is just like a very clear, good win con into this type of team. It's pretty easy to handle like the Blastoise, easy to chip that down, easy to chip down the Lando. And Rotom is like kind of a good check to it, honestly, but it might be a tough brain for him in this matchup. The Medicham is a little bit scary, but like honestly, it's kind of hard for it to get in, really, is the main thing. Weavile's good, but like you already have like one of the best mons that handle it in the entire game, and you're Mega Scizor. So
Holy crap, that is a mega
yeah,
Medicham at the bottom of the list.
yeah.
You're gonna get
He's
on to
gonna
me
have to
for
hope
Mr.
Nash
Florida.
doesn't see the Medicham at the bottom and somehow doesn't prep for it. That's the only way he wins.
Honestly, yeah.
Guys, I don't think we should spend too much on this. Nash is gonna
Yeah,
play
honestly,
belt to ass. Holy shit, look at my
yeah,
pour of
I
scotch
agree.
here. Look at my scotch in the Mets glass.
I think we should move these pretty quickly. I
Yeah.
actually should probably get some sleep, so we'll just like
Speed
bang
run.
these 3 out, and then I'm gonna go sleep after this. But
All
yeah,
right. So beyond this, we got the K Tank versus Unit in Sword and Shield. All right, real quick. Guys, I have the K Tank here. I don't know if you see the same
Yeah,
thing I see.
The whiteboard had the K-Tank.
I'm seeing some things. Yeah, I
Bro, the K Tank, every
Yeah.
single mon on that team looks crazy here.
dude, this is like the best Obstagoon matchup I've ever seen
Bro,
since like
we're about to
that
be
mod has been
gooning on this
released.
dude.
Yeah.
Who's up, Obsta there? Who's gooning?
Why is the Dark Resist of Moltres?
I have no idea, man.
Does Obstagoon learn play
Hey,
rough or anything?
there's a Toxicroak right there. What do you mean? That's a resist,
Bro,
technically.
Toxicroak has never been good in a single Pokemon draft game ever. If this is
Yeah.
the first time, then well played.
It's unfortunate.
K-Tank
to
is
hear
gonna
that.
just
It's unfortunate to
it's
hear
gonna
that.
just destroy.
15 years ago, some of us were Toxicroak gaming on Pokemon Online back in Gen 5. So it's unfortunate that a player that's like born potentially after that time is now trashing Toxicroak.
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
I guess
you were born
Toxicroak
you were born in like
Toxicroak
2005.
fan 92 is gonna be mad about this one, but it's a bad Pokemon. I'm sorry. If you like bad Pokemon, that's your prerogative, but it's not gonna win this game. The K-Tank is gonna win this game. It's gonna be a 6-0 probably because it's just that good of a matchup. And yeah, what more needs to be said?
Not much. All right, so everybody has the K-Tank?
I've got
Yeah,
the
I do.
All right. A large
I'd bring
Butters,
baby.
what do you got?
All right, now we're back to a real tier. Who do I have? I've got Daisy winning this one. I think Thunder T looks real made.
Somebody just called black and white real. Interesting.
I was gonna thank you for
It's
saying
more
that.
real than this fake nonsense we've been talking about.
Bro, none of this shit is real.
If
I mean,
Yeah,
White
we
Ike-
all
Landers.
if
honestly
White
none of
Ike
these
is
tiers
your,
are real.
If Wife Ike is one of your staples of your community and they're 0-3 in this tournament, I don't think your tier is real. But okay.
That's why Daisy's about to step in and show us what a real black and white player looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Daisy.
Landorus
Daisy
mirror.
doesn't miss a past gen tour.
I think this Lando Eye absolutely obliterates them in Sandforce, but I guess Thund is also pretty good here.
Yeah, it is. The speed figures are good. It has good coverage for here. Wow. I mean, yeah, if you, it's a potential win con. I think I like Daisy as well.
I do like Daisy's team too. I think that Cobalion is a really good mon in black and white, as far as I've been seeing in like DWL, for example.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
That guy got picked up on every black and white team, I think.
Way better.
Pretty
in
good.
every.
Yeah, it's on one of ours, and it's been putting in some work over there.
Black and white is by
Yeah.
far its best meta.
The speed is really good in that. It's like, unlike like Garbage Fortress or whatever, it has bad special defense, but it can't get abused by the dragon types as much. It outspeeds a lot of them. Pretty good.
Wait a second,
Yeah, we're
guys.
seeing this.
Guys, I see somebody's. Is that John Friday?
Who, me?
Where?
I see John Friday on the horizon versus Kizu Hime, who may or may not have owner rights for the server we're playing in. All right, you can blindfold me 90 times out of 100 with the 10 games.
You're going to go for John Friday.
Yeah, and the 10 games out of 100 that Kizohime wins are out of luck. You know, RNG. All right, but let's look at the matchup now.
Let me hear the good news. What is this matchup looking like?
All right, so they're playing in Sword and Shield.
Just look at the Garchomp, man. Just look at the Garchomp. Put him in the bag.
I'm looking at the Garchomp, but Kyurem is a mon. I don't know if Kizohime knows this, but I would hope that he does, because that. Oh fuck! All right, the matchup ain't bad. All right, I don't think the matchup's as bad as you guys are making it seem, but off player.
I'm probably over exaggerating it just from like the first glance, but it does look like an insane Garchomp here. I mean, Garchomp's always insane, but just like this one in particular.
All right. I've dented this bottle. I really haven't touched this bottle. But we don't need the bottles, or we don't need the tea leaves, as a large mongoose would say. John Friday wins. You have a real player, and you have a petting zoo Mickey Mouse Clubhouse player in our server owner, who is the
owner,
fake captain.
By the way.
Yeah, he's the server owner, but Dawson is the real. Dawson's the real captain. Also, Kizu, I am angry. You're trying to take away my Team PDT captainship for JJ Gals, who is like winless in this tournament. If we want to win, you have a winning captain right here. I've been here with you from like 5 players to 800 players. My guy, what the fuck are we doing? Like, reunite me, give me back my captain reins, and we'll win some shit. But if we want to pull some fucking bullshit, if we want to pull the team down to Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, so be it. I've been doing this for almost 4 years, like 3.5 years. I'm just trying so hard to make our server relevant, and they keep. You keep Mickey Mouse Clubhouse in us, like Master Baguette, perpetual moderator. Like, what are we doing?
I'm really gonna have to to win in your honor here, Lou, and for my own, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, we're really counting on you here.
I'm at risk of going negative against Kizu Hime, the person that everybody's saying is a joke. Like if that dark future comes to pass, then I might have to like not show my face on this podcast show anymore, honestly. But
It's okay. We're keeping the lights on, and we are what's growing the server, not the random feet pick metas that are commonly hosted in the server. This is what's growing the server. And you have a couple of other people like Rafmon's Journey League that's going on right now. That's pretty cool. There's a couple of other cool projects, but there's so many like ass projects that have gone on over the years, and I'm tired of pretending that these DEI hosts and all of the projects like Cowboy and Damu, all of their DEI leagues are as relevant as Sub Captain Lou. All I want is my recognition. I brought us the UDL like the UDL fall face off, whatever the heck that crap was. We played some legitimate competition, and now he's given the captain title to a winless player who I recruited to be a mod, and luckily is still working hand in hand with me. But I don't want to be the underboss. I want to be the actual boss, is what I'm saying. All right. And with that said, I don't think anybody can say anything more relevant. On to the last matchup.
Okay, this is like my favorite cameo I've ever gotten ever. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here we go. This is so exciting. I love Pokemon. Okay, so first one, Kung Fu Panda. Second, Jake W versus King Clyde. King Clyde. Marshy versus Iceman Braun. Marshy. Blinn versus Chorizo. Blinn. Gammon versus Loki. Loki. The next one, Heine versus Miniman. Let's do Miniman. Brett versus Zazo, and Volty versus Thomas. Gotta take Volty on this one. Okay, let me know how I did.
And for the last matchup, if you are still tuned in, I commend you. Gaiman has work tomorrow. He is a working man. Zazo had to do something with his wife's girlfriend, boyfriend, I don't know. Whatever. It's that point of the night, fellas. You're going to get analysis that is equally as good as these two dog shit teams that are in front of us right now, being Pokemon of the Mediocre and Roblox War Episode 5. So, first up, we've got Patagonia, my good friend from Indiana. God's people over there in the cornfields. Versus the Kung Fu Panda. I love snipping into shape every week for the Kung Fu Panda every week. However, what you need to know is Patagonia is winning this one 2-0. Alright? Don't look too much into the Mons. I did look at a snapshot. I'm not going to talk about the matchup, though. We got to get this going. The people are tired. Next, King Clyde, perennial crook, against Jake W, garbage player. Who the fuck is Jake W? I don't know. I know who King Clyde is. If you're watching One Piece, you see his bounty all over. I don't even watch that anime, but I know that like 90% of my viewers are a bunch of weebs. But King Clyde's got the bounty. He's probably a good dude. King Clyde is my friend, and King Clyde is sailing away with this game. Alright, next up, Marshy, who's probably on Roblox right now, versus Iceman Braun, who grew up with Roblox. Let's look at this game real quick. Holy shit, I see a Dragonite versus a Kyurem Black. Alright, Marshy, you are losing this game. Alright, now that I actually look at it, Marshy, you are losing this game. Iceman Braun is taking it. Next up, we've got Feet Pick Meta Enjoyer Blin versus 16-year-old talks like he's 65-year-old Teriso. Let's look at this real quick. All right, I have looked at the snapshot of this game, and as a large Mongoose's used tea leaves are telling me, Blin is winning this game. All right, I don't know what the tally is, but we are halfway through this. Next up, we have distinguished guest, Game 2 versus Loki the Blue, who I don't even know. Loki the Blue, who are you? You are not anywhere near as good as Game 2. Game 2 is winning this game. I'm not going to say 6-0, but I'm going to say 5-0. Game 2 wins 5-0 against Loki the Blue. Next up, we have Heine versus Miniman, commonly known as Dylan, commonly known as a VGC player. A good one at that. But this is singles. This is also Sword and Shield.
What the hell are you?
All right, I'm looking.
I'm allergic to these picks.
I'm looking at the matchup, folks. Also, the last game, that Game 2 Loki the Blue matchup, a little bit similar builds. All right.
A little bit.
Hopefully you're still with us, folks. Fuck, this is rough. You know, I've been dogging on Miniman for so long now. I'm trying to give some insightful analysis. I don't know if it's there.
Hey, you don't gotta force it. This shit is just Sword and Shield is just slop.
All right, off of willpower, Miniman Dylan wins this game 2-0. Next up, we have Bredibus, who, like a broken clock, was finally right last week. But he's going up against Anthony Zazzo, dropping into the DPP arena. Oh my god. Let's actually take a gander at this matchup. Oh my god, that's an awful round 1 Heatran. What is that? Oh, that is gross. Oh. Oh, man. And what does Zazo have? Oh, this is a Giga Chad. This is an underappreciated team. This is a team that can withstand your one card trick. Your only card trick to win, Brett, is the little cute rain tech that Anthony Zazzo is going to see from a mile away. Anthony Zazzo dropping into DPP with a 2-0 victory. 2, not 1, 2. Brett, when are you going to bench yourself? You're just like closing time, like, I don't know. This is Brett, I haven't lost faith in you, but I've lost faith in you this tour. Last week you were a broken clock. Yet lightning is not going to strike twice. Anthony Zazzo wins. And who is this on the far? Who do we have this? We have Smogon Mod, who I want to be a PDT mod, Thomas, versus Volti Pichu. All right, what do we have here? All right, it's you, son. Oh, wow. All right, this is pretty bad. Oh, this is like a corgi race. This is corgi race central. Fuck. I'm gonna have to go with the Volti Pichu here, folks. I think his team is more real than the other team. Yeah, it most definitely is. I got the team on the top.
Fellas are looking at the teams.
Yeah. Let me add it up. I'm gonna do my math. 1, 1, 2, 1. I'll get back to you on my math. John Friede, please lift me up, and then I'll get back with a count.
All right. Well, in the meantime, while Lou learns how to count up to 8, we can start counting these matches with these potentially the two most garbage teams in the tournament. Wouldn't surprise me if these is the 7th hole and the 8th hole fighting each other. That being said, you'd hope the underdogs here, Roblox, has a chance. We'll see if the predictions see it differently. Now, again, like, we ran out of juice at this point. If you want the insightful analysis, rewind the video and
I've drank like
turn off the
$50
video
worth
now.
of scotch here tonight. I can say that.
Yeah, we can maybe see how that influences things here. Me, on the other hand, I'm just not willing to
What is that, nail
put in
polish?
too much into these.
Your finest nail polish.
That's Jose
Oh.
Cuervo, buddy. That's a mid-shelf tequila. Thank you very much.
Wow, hang in there, John Mongoose. So where should we begin? So actually, first things first, I'm not going to do this completely left to right. We have to first and foremost look at the DPP teams by Pokemon and Elite. Holy shit. These will go down in history as the absolute worst DPP teams anybody has ever drafted.
Pokemon of
Joshua
the Elite has
Games,
historically bad DPP teams.
dude, Joshua Games and JJ Games could team up and draft miles better teams than this. Like DPP1, Jake
Oh.
W, that is easily the worst team I've ever seen. It will be no problem for King Clyde to dismantle this. DPP flex slot. Wait, why does it say? Oh, I misread. It was DPP3 that Jake W is using. Either way, they both suck. Who cares, right? Brett, it's easy to see why he's losing so damn much. He's using this garbage team, no ground type into a Raikou. Put the fucking fries in the bag. It's god awful. So those are easy wins for Roblox. Other than that, though, unfortunately, I think it goes downhill for them. ADV Patagonia is the people's champion here. Like the Jolteon goes crazy. Don't see anything else worth mentioning. I don't really care. Yes, Snorlax does have a lot of normal resist on the other side, but it's like Fortress. Who cares? You can sub up on that. You can curse in front of it. Like Bird Break the Tyranitar, Shadow Ball the Gengar. Who cares? And then Heal Ball Dragonite for the Wisp. GG. There you go. Easy win. Oh, next, tipping over to Black and White. The Brother Dog against Iceman Chuck Liddell. I think all the gassing up we've done for the Iceman here is gonna fall flat against an actually good player here, Margie. Maybe that's speaking too highly of him, but I think in this matchup specifically, I'd give him the edge. I think Dragonite is pretty damn good for once. Usually don't like that Pokemon. Victini as well. Zapdos, whatever. Good enough, right? Good enough to win against the Iceman. Whereas Blinn has been fighting for a slot in this tournament. Like somebody who I think is good at the game, supposedly, I think, from what I hear. Against Teresa, who, like, I don't know what we're doing with Teresa in this tournament. On the Roblox War Episode 5 team, he's not one of the players, not one of the 1 or 2 players that have been able to win games. So, Blinn, gonna say he wins this one. Now, Gaiman, an absolute layup against Loki the Blue. Guys, if anybody here knows who Loki the Blue is, let me know. If anybody on Roblox War even knows who they are, then please drop a comment or something and let us know. Maybe like you think with the Mega Charizard mirror, the double electric mirror, maybe you'd think the matchup would be at least close to even just off of that alone. Again, not willing to dive too much deeper into it beyond that. Just look at the players and you can see who wins. Now, Sword and Shield, the mini man, the VGC legend. I'm not really blown away by his squad or himself as a player. I'm going to give it to Pokemon of the Elite just because they're the better team. Now, skipping the DVP once again onto the last game of the series. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I see these Mecha
skipped
Gallade
Zaza?
Tapu Fini teams. Yeah, I already mentioned that the DPP teams are fucking garbage. They're going to lose easily. Easy wins for Zazo, easy win for King Clyde. Even King Clyde can win against that horrible, sorry DPP team that Jake W is using. Like, god awful team. I can't stress that enough. Now, with no further interruptions here, the Ultra Sun Ultra Moon game. I see these Mega Gallade Tapu Fini teams with the Thunderous that I fucking put as the same price as the garbage Therian form, and people have abused that. I can't really say that the other team is even close to as good as the one on the bottom. So I feel like Thomas 18 has a good chance here. Blacephalon is like kind of unguardable. You're gonna throw Greninja into that. I mean, I get it's a stupid Blacephalon. It's hard to get that thing in. It's rock weak. But you know what? That's as far as I go here with this analysis. Thomas, it's looking good enough, and that'll get you to a 3 wins for the Roblox War, still ending up losing to Pokemon of the Elite, even with the absolute free DPP matchups. You just have nobody else that knows how to play the game. If you were smart, you would have put Zazo somewhere else so that he has a chance to fight back in a more uneven matchup, since the DPP just plays itself because it's so goddamn easy because their team is so bad. But I think I've said that enough. Mongoose, what do you got to bring to the table here?
Bring us home.
I'm sorry, fellas. I was playing Gen 1 Randbats. All right, so Pokemon of the Elite
Okay.
versus Roblox. This is a clash of the titans that I think that words cannot even describe, and so I won't use a whole lot of them. In ADV, we've got Plat beating Panda. In DPP, we've got Clyde beating Jake, I think that says. Black and white. Marshy over the Iceman, Chuck Liddell. Oras, Teresa wins. Yusum, Gaiman wins. Sword and Shield, the Mini Man wins. DPP, we've got Zazo beating Brett, and Volti Pichu brings it home in Yusum. That's a 4-4 tie.
Bravo.
All right. That's a segment. If you are still with us right now, I commend you. Thank you so much. Super fans acknowledged. All right. We will see you again in week 6.